weather on NBC10 Boston, Boston's most accurate forecast.
All right, we've been talking about this all day. We may actually see a white Christmas after all. I was chatting with Sydney off air, and we were happy with the flurries. Yeah. We don't necessarily want it to get too much more severe than this, right?
Yeah, I think of this as the calm. It's cold. We still have snow on the ground from the past few days, and technically, it's not going to be a white Christmas for a lot of us, but if you look around, it looks white. There's snow on the ground. We haven't had this in a few years, so definitely just look around and smile about that a little bit if you like the snow. 34 degrees is what the high temperature is going to be looking like on Christmas Day. It's been very cold, but morning low temperatures in the middle 20s, high temperatures in the middle 30s. Not quite as cold as what we've been seeing. Okay, so technically, in order to get in on a white Christmas, we need an inch of snow on the ground. Of course, in order to get an inch of snow on the ground, we need a cold pattern, which we've had, and then storms, ongoing storms in the pipeline, and coming in maybe a little bit closer to Christmas than when we saw that last system. But what we have is snow on the ground. If you look around, it's going to appear like a white Christmas, right? Even though technically the definition might not be there for downtown Boston, it's white. And our cameras don't usually look quite as white or quite as frosty as what we're seeing on the cameras for this time. We saw a batch of flurries moving overhead this morning. Walking outside, you might have noticed that on your way to work. Didn't cause too many issues, but there are some heavier areas of snow for parts of the South Shore, moving onto the Cape as we speak. And where the snow is going to linger is parts of the Merrimack Valley and parts of southern New Hampshire. So some heavier bursts of snow right now coming down between Bourne and Barnstable and areas north in southern New Hampshire. This is where we're going to see this line lingering and potentially pushing a bit to the south. So if you are in Haverhill, if you're in Woburn, you could potentially get in on another light area of snow. This is the frosty ground and even the frosty river that I was talking about. You don't get to see this all the time. So looking around, appears that we're going to get a white Christmas. Technically, though, don't yell at me, National Weather Service, because it's technically probably not going to be one. 35 degrees between 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we're watching those temperatures fall, upper 20s. By the time we get around 11 o'clock, we're looking at 27 degrees and then 25 degrees around 2 o'clock. So it is going to be cold tomorrow. 24 for Boston, but then if you're in the suburbs, you're going to see temperatures in the middle and upper teens. 16 degrees for Natick, 18 degrees for Worcester, and we could potentially continue to get in on some very light snow. But for the most part, as far as showing up on the radar and seeing those flurries, we've seen the main batch of those flurries moving overhead. Tomorrow, we have clear skies coming our way. It may still appear a bit hazy out there tomorrow, but temperatures at 34 degrees, 36 for Thursday, and then pretty mild by Friday. We're looking at 39 degrees. So dry skies will be staying in the forecast. High pressure takes control, which high pressure usually reinforces that cold air, but we have another system right on its tail that's going to help pull in some mild air from the south and bring in some warmer temperatures. It's not going to be warm by any means, especially compared to the warm temperatures that we saw last week, those 60s and whatnot, but we are going to potentially have a 50 or two sprinkled in there for the start of next week. So by the second half of the weekend into the start of next week, temperatures get a little bit above normal. Monday, we're looking at 44 degrees, but you know, those warmer days usually paired with the rain. We also have rain chances in the picture for Monday. New Year's Eve, temperatures at 46 degrees before another system comes in for New Year's Day and brings those temperatures to around 44 degrees with rain chances lingering.